Before I get into this commentary, I have to give a shout out to Seiji Hito, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have even known about this, as this is a person I have talked about before, and they were a Blacarian entry. Well, they have managed to become a Blacarian entry again for a second time. And it's actually been a while since I've done a Blacarian video, so this is very, very interesting to say the least. But Sharika Soul, or as I like to call her, Sharika Soulless, has made her way back into the sphere again. And she posted up this picture and actually wants us to believe what is being said on the post and in the post itself. So she wrote this up, I'm not sure exactly what day, but it was very recent. And ironically, I think it was after the NABJ situation that occurred with Donald Trump not too long ago, where she said they are afraid of black women supporting Trump because when we do, we drop the Hood Rat Act and the left hates classy women. And then you have the picture itself. So this is a picture of seemingly Donald Trump standing with 4 black women. And at first glance, if you was to look at this picture from a distance, you would probably think it was real. But then when you look up close on it, it's like, wait a minute. Something seems off about this picture. Something just doesn't seem natural. That's because it's not. This picture that Sharika posted up, that I'm assuming she put together, or maybe someone else did, and she got a hold of it, and then she put it out there, is AI. Is an artificial intelligence generated image that she put out there and said and put this. So she put a very scathing comment about black women and then put up a fake picture with fake black women and a fake Donald Trump. And the thing that will always give it away when it comes to the AI is the extra fingers. Y'all probably can't see it, but if you look at the black AI generated woman to the left of Trump that's standing right there with her hand on the shoulder, if you look at the hand that's down by her side, that's on her thigh, there's an extra finger there that's next to the thumb, that's in between the thumb and the index finger. And then why does Donald Trump look like he has a mullet? Granted, we know his hair looks kind of funny looking, but why is it that he seems to have a mullet in this picture when we know that man doesn't have one? So it's just the lengths and depths that many will go in order to make it seem like 45 is so appealing to black people, so they can try to get the stench of, oh, he's not anti-black off of him. Now, before anybody says anything, this is not me saying, oh, because I'm talking about 45 that means I'm in support of Kamala Harris. That's not the case here. I always have to throw that disclaimer in there because people think that it is what it is. If you look through the archives of Blacarian videos, she ended up in there a while ago, but I put black in quotations for obvious reasons. But what I find to be interesting, not only necessarily about what Sharika posted, is that it seems that whenever there comes a time when they have to put Donald Trump around or seemingly around black people, the real black people that he's around, like actual black people that he's around, they are these bootlick type of individuals. Like, they give off very oppish vibes, or they come off as very anti-black even themselves. Remember what I tell you about the co-colonizing cohorts? Now, they don't need an AI generated image to do that, but they will create an AI generated image of the seemingly everyday black person and then insert Trump in there somewhere to make it seem like he is appealing to the black community as a whole. And what I'm going to show you as I give my overlaying of commentary is some examples of images that they actually do that with, that I found on X. So here's one picture right here. It's Donald Trump sitting right here. It looks like he's on a porch of some sort and he has black guys around him. And like I said, if you just look at the image, you can just tell that it's not real because of the quality of it. Granted, anyone could throw a filter on something, but you can definitely tell that it's an AI generated image. It almost looks like it could be an AI generated painting rather than something that's real. And it's crazy because all I had to do was go on the X and type in Donald Trump black men AI, and this image and a couple of others that I'm gonna go over are going to show you that it wasn't that hard to find. And the crazy part about it is there are more out there than the ones I did find. If y'all remember, I did a bed bucking video on Dom Lecrae a while ago, and he had posted up an AI generated image of 45 with a bunch of black men behind him, almost looking like the Million Man March. It's almost as if Dr. King should have been there rather than Donald Trump. And I'm just like, y'all are doing way too much. But let me go on to the next image. Here's another image right here with Donald Trump seemingly looking like he's at some kind of a Christmas party of some sort. And yet again, if you look, there it is again with the AI not knowing how to do fingers. If you look right here where the woman's shoulder is and you look at the finger, why does the finger look like that? Whose finger is that, for starters? But it's like they have 4 fingers and, well, 3.5 fingers. First off, I highly doubt that 45 was going to any type of Christmas party where there's a lot of black people around anyway. And if he was, it wouldn't look anything like this. But I'm saying it's the pure desperation that many of them are going out of their way in order to portray him to be this very open and welcoming person. But like I said, look at who he has invited into his orbit, and that'll tell you the type of black people he likes to have around him. And I highly doubt it's probably any of the people that's like this. But then again, I could be wrong. Now this one right here is just absolutely hilarious for the simple fact they always say black people love inviting others and outsiders to the cookout, and they say in this one that's literally what they're trying to portray. Donald Trump is invited to the cookout. My thing is also this: if I was going to a cookout, I don't know about y'all, but if I was going to a cookout, I wouldn't be going there in a suit. That's just me. I would not be going there in a suit. And I noticed that they also, in the AI generation, I can tell they probably try to say put some Make America Great Again hats on them individuals, and they couldn't generate Make America Great Again, so they just put some red hats on there with some white writing. Who do they think they fooling? Really, who do they think they are fooling when they do stuff like this? But yeah, this is the famous or the infamous let's invite him to the cookout AI generated image. This is straight up comedy. And here's the last one. Now I thought this one was very interesting because whoever came up with this one was extremely clever, but not clever enough, because what they did here is they of course have Donald Trump there. Now you can clearly tell this is supposed to be a younger Donald Trump, like a Donald Trump of maybe the 90s for sure, and he's around some black guys and they look like they are in some kind of a project somewhere. Now you know for a fact, if Donald Trump took pictures with anybody like that, it would not have been in that setting. They gotta be at some kind of nice establishment or somewhere out, very out in the open where there are witnesses. But they took Donald Trump, a 90s version of him, and inserted him there with a bunch of black men from that era as well. Really? This is the lengths that they're going to try to say that he's appealing to black people. So I guess the shoes didn't work, the mugshots ain't working, him having the rappers, and all the other stuff that's clearly not working. This is nothing more than, really, this is all his so-called supporters online doing this. And I kept telling people, his supporters are going to be the main ones that are going to be the reason why, if he does, loses this election. Not necessarily him per se, but then again, it could be him. I'm not sure. He did pick JD Vance as his vice president pick, but you know, there's that. But doing stuff like this is just pure desperation and comedy at this point. It just really is. It's absolutely hilarious. Who would have thought that we would have went down this little semi-rabbit hole all because of what Sharika Soulless decided to post? It all started with this image here, and it led you down seeing those other ones. I could have went on and on and on. I probably could have do a whole live stream just dedicated to these fake AI images that they constructed. But I'm not going to bore you with that. But this right here is absolutely comical, and not in a good way. Really what it all boils down to is the images that they put together like these with these AI images. This is the fantasy of what they wish black people would come to embrace Donald Trump would be like. This is what they really want black people to be like when it comes to Donald Trump. Because if you look at these AI images, it almost looks very more organic than what is portrayed out there in reality, that just seems real forced and very artificial. It looks very staged, or like very, I'm paying you to pretend, or I'm paying you to act. Whereas these images make it seem like these black individuals want to be around him, or he's embracing them in a very organic manner. And because they can't get that the right way, or the way that it should be, they have to create these images and say, and if this was a perfect world, then it would be this. But what they're really mad, they're really mad that it can't be this. So they have to say, in my mind, this is how I'm portraying it out to be. And the thing is, some of them are so lost in the sauce that they actually think that this is real. Like, you have people posting up these images like it's real, and at first some people were believing it, but then when they started to examine it, it's like, okay, something just doesn't seem right. That has to be some of the most saddest and pathetic-ish ever in life.